part of Venezuela were you born in?
I was born in the city of Maracaibo, which is in the northwestern portion of Venezuela, right next to Lake Maracaibo. And as far as the history of Lake Maracaibo, that's the area where the European explorers first sailed into when they discovered Venezuela. And the name Venezuela means Little Venice because all of the homes of the Indians looked like they were built on stilts, so it reminded them of Venice. So that's where the name came from.
I was born in Merida City. I grew up in the same place where I was born, and I did my studies from elementary, high school, and university in the same city.
Well, I wasn't born in Venezuela. My youngest brother was. I was born in California.
Oh, okay.
But when I was 3 years old, we moved there when I was 3.
Where did you move to?
Well, we moved to Maracaibo for a while. My brother was born there, and we also lived in Merida for a while, which is in the high country, about a mile high in the mountains. Beautiful countryside. It was very warm temperature all year round, just near the equator.
When you moved to America, where did you live there?
When we left Venezuela, we went to Amsterdam, Holland, for a year, and then we moved to New Jersey and lived there for a year, and then we moved to Virginia, lived there for 7 years, and then we lived in Phoenix for a couple years, and then Michigan for a couple years, and then Pennsylvania.
So you lived all over.
Yes.
Okay. Did you live life as a child in America any differently than other children who were raised by Americans?
We grew up listening to Venezuelan music every day, so we were always listening to beautiful songs that were created in Venezuela that Mom used to play. I think she missed her homeland quite a bit, so she would play Venezuelan music all the time, and so that really influenced our upbringing quite a bit. And she would make a lot of Venezuelan food, like arroz con pollo, which means chicken with rice. That was incredibly delicious. I've never been able to duplicate that. And she would make arepas, which is a type of bread that you bake in the oven. And it's like made out of cornmeal, and it's flat as a pancake. And you cut it open and put butter in there, or eggs, or cheese. You put anything you want. You just slice it open and put in anything you like. We had a lot of Venezuelan influence from Mom, of course, because she would bring over Venezuelan friends or relatives frequently, and so we'd be exposed to the Venezuelan culture throughout our entire upbringing.
Were there any other kinds of foods that you've eaten that were Venezuelan or from Venezuela?
Absolutely, yeah. During Christmas time, Mom would always make a food called hallacas. And that was a type of holiday food where she would fill pastry things with meat and vegetables, and it would be like a mini burrito. And I think it was made out of cornmeal, actually. And she would roll it, and then she'd cover it, wrap it up in banana leaves and tie it up, and then she'd boil it, and they were amazingly delicious. Oh yeah, there were also raisins in there. It was sweet and with meat in there too. I think it was beef in there, and maybe chicken too, I'm not sure. But it was incredibly delicious, and we would only have it during Christmas time. That was a real highlight, actually, of the Christmas season. And then she was always cooking all kinds of different Venezuelan dishes throughout the year. But my favorite was the arroz con pollo. That was the chicken with rice. That was really good.
Okay.
Oh, she would also make Venezuelan pizza periodically, where she would just throw anything on top of the pizza and bake it.
Yeah, we have no the typical of the only one that I can see that has been for centuries is called hallaca. This is a very traditional plate that could be something similar that the Mexican has called tamale. They call tamale. It's making flowers with meat and vegetables, and after boiled for a few hours, and it's very tasty food, and it's very characteristic for Venezuela. I'm not sure if Mexico have tamales, maybe it's similar, and maybe the other countries like Colombia, Peru, they have something similar also.
Oh yeah, everything was different. They did a lot of wrapping of foods in different, kind of like a burrito, but way different. They had real soft corn type of. You can't really pick them up. You use a fork and so forth to eat it. Hallaca is the name of one that stands out the most. My mom would make those, and those are made mostly for special occasions, full of all kinds of stuff, including olives and beets and different kinds of vegetables. Very delicious, and you eat it with some kind of sauce, but nothing really spicy. In Venezuela, they didn't have any real spicy foods at all. Not like Mexico, for instance.
In Spanish countries, such as Spain, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are eaten at different times. Did your family eat in a separate schedule like that, or was it normal?
Well, we would only do that if it was like maybe during the summertime when there wasn't any school, because we had to get to school on time. So we really couldn't do that during the school year. But during the summertime, when the schedule was really flexible and we were on vacation and stuff like that, then we would do stuff like that actually. So it wasn't very often that we did that, but when we did, it was like, okay, that's fine. We would eat whenever we were hungry. And since I have 7 brothers and sisters, we went through a lot of food, and there's always plenty of food around. That was a huge part of the Venezuelan custom, is that nobody goes hungry, and that was really emphasized by my mom because she was the oldest of 12 kids, and they grew all their own food. So being able to cook was really important, and being able to grow food was really important. So always having plenty of food on hand was really important.
Were there any holidays that were not normally celebrated in America that you celebrated?
The only one that we would recognize that was extra, that's not celebrated here, is Cinco de Julio, which is the 5th of July, because that is Venezuela's Independence Day. And I sort of emphasize that a lot myself, because I found that to be an important part of the Venezuelan culture. Not all of my brothers and sisters showed that much interest in it, but I think I just really emphasized it quite a bit because I've always wanted to go back there, and it's a very strong affinity to go back there and stay identified to the Venezuelan culture.
Yes, there are some are exactly the same one. We celebrate the Christmas, we celebrate the New Year. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving like United States has. We celebrate Easter time. We have also celebrate the Independence Day. For us is the 5th of July. You here in United States, you have the 4th of July. We celebrate the newborn of our freedom. The freedom of Venezuela is Simón Bolívar, and he he was born on the 24th of June.
Not that I can remember at that time because I was so young. I do remember Christmas, and they do have different fiestas. Fiesta is a party. At different times all throughout the year, they always have big get-togethers, and oftentimes it's done in the town square. You know, everyone came out to the town square, which is different than what they do here. We have individual parties. There, everyone all gets together and does a giant fiesta over there.
What was your mom's life like when she was growing up? Like, where did she live, and how many siblings did she have?
Well, when Mom was growing up, she grew up in a very poor family, and they grew all their own food, and they never wasted anything. So they became very good gardeners. In fact, master gardeners, because they had to be good at growing food because that's what they ate, and they learned to be very frugal and good cooks. And so she actually was the oldest of all of her siblings, and she was put in charge of caring for some of the youngest of her brothers and sisters because there were so many children. So her upbringing was helping out in the child rearing actually quite a bit, and so that's a pretty common thing in the Venezuelan culture too, by the way, especially in families where there's lots of children. Yeah, so she worked pretty hard growing up, and she had a lot of responsibility put on her at an early age too. Yeah.
What was it like having so many siblings? Because you said earlier that you had like 7 brothers and sisters.
Well, it was pretty exciting actually. You were always surrounded by people all the time, and I'm number 6 out of 8, so I'm the youngest boy, and I have 2 older sisters, 2 younger sisters. So sometimes you feel like you got lost in shuffle, but it was always nice having brothers and sisters around. You know, we were doing things together, and we had a share of fights as well. So it was very interesting growing up.
It's nice to have a large family. Is especially because we were very close in age. Then we help each other to learn learn about the life as we grow up, and also enjoy doing activities together. Especially my sister and my brother Freddy, they were very close to our cousin Oscar Armando, and they were playing all the time together. So I really like more to watch TV. I was more a watch TV boy, but it was nice. It was nice until we were become teenagers, that each of us we were taking our own friends and our own activities, of course. But the childhood was very good one.
It was loud. There was always a lot of activity going on at once. I mean, sometimes I want to get away from it, but I also like the idea of having a big family as well, because there's always something to do. So it was a two-edged thing. If you had to get used to the fact that you didn't really have any privacy, but then you also liked the fact that there's a lot of people around so you could do stuff. You know, never a lack of someone to play a game with or something like that. So it was very, very cool. So we had a good camaraderie, so it was really nice.
Gaita, 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 como yo te canto, nadie puede cantarte mi gaita. Yo soy tu voz.